Babylon can fight it.
If we don't want to lose, gotta pick and choose the right things to do.
Whoa. Today's message brought to you in part by fluoride.
It's in your water.
Typically, modern day, we think of Babylon as the wicked system that is of descent from Europe and American culture, which is true. However, after some investigation and some inner search, I began to truly ponder deeply the question of what is Babylon. And I've recently, more than ever, been having the desire to move out of this country. No fruit, no sun, the list is extensive, not going to list it all here, but trust me, it's extensive. I felt as though this place was Babylon itself. But the more I sought to leave and the more I kept looking at place after place and all these different things and all these trends, I began to see that the corruption was everywhere. That there's McDonald's in third world countries. The fact that you have to pay for land in general, the fact that you have to pay for the flight, the whole ideology of it all. This began to awaken me to a different clarity on the question. And what I began to see was that, in short, Babylon is an infection, a mental disease, a parasite, if you will, that causes its infectee to be disharmonious with nature and to view external things as separate of itself. Greed, war, and all these types of things are merely just symptoms of this infection. I don't know exactly why I do my hands and stuff like that, but hopefully it's conveying the point a little better. This sickness brings about a distortion of reality that creates lack on a planet of abundance. For example, on a planet where one seed brings forth thousands, we are conditioned to work 8 hours, barely being able to make ends, and have to spend all that money in order to pay for something that is inherently free on this planet. So if we see Babylon as this contagious disease, we are able to put into perspective that America predominantly is a ground zero of sorts, and that this illness has spilled over and begun to seep over into all places around the globe, making America a very, very important place when it comes to sealing in the infection. Sealing is definitely not an infection, right? Sealing in the infection and dealing with the issues, and the people who are in America's responsibility is heightened in comparison to most other places. Just think of how many countries are trading away their precious mangoes for the bite of a cheeseburger. I don't have mangoes, but this is a jackfruit. Due to the prevailing ignorance and the propaganda, so many beautifully environmentally rich places are trading away gold for lead, because dysfunction and greed is made to seem so glamorous. Need a second to just... It's just so good right now. It's so juicy, bro. Couldn't even wait to finish the video. Now, for those of us who have Babylonian luxury, we must realize and become aware of the fact that the only reason that we have things in like places like America and Europe is because of the fact that somewhere else someone doesn't have anything. The balance for the distribution of wealth on this planet is completely off. Although we should be sharing the resources on this planet because we are all members of the planet. But we see division, and there's different regions and countries and all this stuff. All types juicy. So if one is in let's say a heightened part of the financial balance on the planet, we have this ability to be able to acquire the means in this financial matrix to be able to create that balance. Specifically speaking to American youth, we have the so-called American anyway, we have this ability to be able to lead culture, because it seems as though most of the other cultures all around the world happen to be watching and glorifying what it is that we do, bringing about a very interesting way for a means to an end against all of this infection. You know, if we within the ground zero, which is this America, change the culture, change what we value and these types of things, and change the way it's going, other people are going to follow suit. You know, we can go back to all these third world countries and say, turn back. This is not the way. McDonald's is not the way. Burn it down. You know, this mindset is not the way. And we have to begin to mold and shape the culture to view doing positive things and good things, harmonious things, as being what is cool. Eating fruit is cool. What I just did to this jackfruit is cool. Yeah. This is the best jackfruit I've ever had. It's a very humbling realization and answer to the question, what is Babylon? Is the answer more than likely you. You are Babylon. Congratulations. And it is our actions that allow this infection to persist and keep on spreading. But at the same time, now that we understand that everything is us, including this infection, we are able to change it. We are able to take responsibility and say, I don't need all these things. I am content with having less material because it allows me to be more free. I see that I have a responsibility being put in the position that I am to help balance the situation around the world. The youth is rising up and taking responsibility for owning the future of culture, if you will. And it's a beautiful thing. We have to see that it is us that has to make the change, and you can't rely on a government or anything else to begin destroying themselves. We have to be responsible. And it starts, like I said in my other video, at some level with disrupting the internal parasitic system that we have within ourselves, which is going to reflect externally, and then collectively coming together to formulate how we can create a fallback system so that when we pull the rug from out of this thing, we don't fall too. It's like if we just stop with the Babylonian life immediately and everyone's still in America where all the food isn't grown and all these things, what are people going to do when there's no grocery stores? We don't have enough community gardens and these types of things to be able to thrive You know, these things have to be put in place before we go down with it. It's beautiful. This is Pure Iration's YouTube. Same thing for Instagram, same thing for Facebook. Seventh Son on SoundCloud, which is soon to be changing. I give thanks for watching the video and just really want some more jackfruit. But give thanks for this opportunity. You know, we are in a very great moment in time to be able to make change. And I know that it's hard out there for a lot of people. And it's crazy how even though we're put in a situation where we can make $8 and $10 an hour, and some people only make $2, that because we make more, usually the expenses or the luxuries that we're programmed to buy go up, so we never end up really making anything. And I know it can be hard for other people, like it is on me, that some people go and spend $1,000 on a bottle of liquor, and you're like, dang, that would change my life. And you just want to do the right thing. I'm learning to just be patient too, you know. And together we can do this, because this is a plan that is orchestrated far beyond our comprehension.